Why am I on the right side? I should be on the left side. I like being on the left side because then I look this way and it looks like I'm looking at you. Good morning, boys and girls. Evening, afternoon, whatever.
It's Faz Friday, and I'm sorry that we have to have a show titled the way that we do, but unfortunately we do.
Yeah, I'm a bit bummed because I like Mirandus a lot. I have a lot of Mirandus NFTs, and we'll talk about that.
The show tonight, we're going to kind of start, obviously, with the ridiculousness of Mirandus and TWDE, but we also have some music stuff that we want to talk about that we bumped into, and a platform kind of overview. And of course, there's a lot of thoughts. We've been doing this for a very long time. So we have some interesting thoughts that we wanted to share regarding all of this.
Yeah, we're OGs. We go back to what, 2021?
Jeez. I think you had me by like 6 or 9 months. And so you were probably like late 20 and I was early 21.
Well, with Gala, I mean, with crypto, I've been in since 2017. So I'm a bit older G than you are, but I didn't make much.
That, yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't be here if you wouldn't have called me that night and not let me off the phone till I got the Gemini account.
That's right. That's right. That's what I get to. That's my claim to fame. All right. So apparently we have some videos this time, and for you people listening on like radio or while you're driving or whatever, you have to come back and review the show later because we have some interesting videos. I'll let you introduce the first one, but then we have some smaller clips that we shouldn't be saying things in our own words. People need to be saying things in their own words, and we're happy to comment on it, of course.
So you wanted to start with those short clips, and then a little bit later on, as we transition into some of the other stuff, I thought maybe we could play that community made video. I was in tears. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, because your video is like 3 minutes long, and
yeah.
Okay, that'll be a subject change. So we're going to be talking about some Gala music.
Gala music starts off, yeah.
And then we'll switch at some point and switch over to Mirandus, which is actually what we started, Mirandus and the Walking Dead and stuff like that. We have some comments here. You should look at the comments.
Yeah, so poking around before the show has bumped into what you're about to see with the music side. We wanted to make sure to talk about this too because it's like really important. Let's see. Happy Fraz Friday. Real theme music. Yeah, that song is awesome. I'm glad he got that and got it all hooked up for that. That's an epic
Speaking of songs, the last FazRadio we were playing with AI generated music, and I think that's going to go really far. And I want to use some of them in my bugs, of course. But it's I'm interested to see where that will go because now you're going to get a lot of non-music people making music. Because it's one thing to make music, it's another thing to appreciate it. So I think you can get some non-music people making some different kind of music. Anyway,
they already have some competition, by the way. There's another platform that's just as good, and I won't go into it on tonight's show, but maybe next week or something we can talk about it.
All right, sounds good. Okay, well I'm gonna play the first video. Let's see if I can do this right. I got to move us over here. And I, of course, have to be on top, you know. And where's the video? It's down here. You made these. So I saw this posted on CFA, and I was just kind of half-heartedly listening to it. Somebody posted the entire thing. Uh-oh, what's this? My alarm is going off telling me things I don't need to know about.
You're already supposed to be on the show.
Okay. I usually get reminded that FazRadio is going to start because we're starting earlier, sort of. All right. Here's the first video. Tell me if you cannot. People are going to be commenting. Tell me if you cannot hear the sound.
That's why we're changing the language, because I didn't like the word NFT either, but it's really a collectible, and it's really about forging a partnership between an artist and a community that supports them. So if you kind of think of how the stock market goes, you're getting stock in a company. So this is like the community has stock in an artist. Everybody is committing as a community to build the career together with that artist. So this collectible, this song becomes the way that you support your artist. But then we also have live streaming, we have an app.
So what the fuck? So wait. We're not calling them NFTs anymore. We're calling them collectibles. And by the way, there's stock. Wait, you're buying stock? You're selling stock now? What the fuck? So I'm a little confused. Are they not wanting to do NFTs anymore? There's more, but go ahead and say something before we continue on.
So Faz had caught whiff of the clip where it made it sound from what people were talking about in CFA that NFTs were going away. And so Faz is like, hey, jump on that. Go take a look at it and see if that's what they really said. And so I grabbed that clip that he wanted, which we'll play here. But then I found that I'm listening and I'm like, oh my God, she's like saying that this is a stock, like a security. And just because you call it a collectible, it's somehow exempt from all of that. I don't know. But she's saying that you're investing in the career of a musician. I mean, what is she thinking? And if you notice, someone else pointed out when that clip was generated that, she looks like she's like, or sounds like she's like high or drunk or something. I mean, she's like slurring her words too. I don't know what is going on. That is the CEO of Gala Games.
Okay. Stop being so topical. Don't make fun of how people look or sound, because I mean that's punching below the belt. That's just being mean.
It's not. That's exactly what she sounds like.
I don't care. I mean, I don't care who is in charge of a company. I'm more interested in their words than how they sound and so on. And how they sound is troubling. It's more troubling than I care about how she looks. Okay.
I never said anything about how she looks. I said I talked about how she sounds.
She sounds drunk.
Yes.
Is that it?
She does. Yes.
Okay. We got another one here.
Chewbacca. I'll put up my volume a bit. Hang on.
Yeah, he's been messing with his microphone.
I've had audio issues today. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me adjust these sliders.
I'm on my other screen, like trying to shut things off just in case I use up too much bandwidth with my other windows.
How's that? Is that any better?
You're a bit louder now. Yeah, have the fans tell us about our sound balance. Turn it down just a smidge.
Down a smidge? How about right there?
Maybe another smidge.
All right. How about that?
Good enough. Let's see if Chewbacca is fine with it.
All right. Thanks, Chewbacca. Yeah, because I had to reconnect to this stream like 4 times because my audio was all jacked up. I don't know what the deal is.
So got another one here. It sounds a lot like the first, though.
So today, at this moment, folks that sort of jump onto the Gala Music platform, sounds like they can get really cool experiences. And then are they purchasing music directly? How does that exactly work from a music consumption perspective today?
So right now we're still selling music as NFTs. So people can purchase NFTs, they can support their artists. Streaming, you don't have to have an NFT and you don't have to buy in to stream. You can listen to any of the Gala artists. There are some changes coming that are going to be more accessible and more exciting.
Okay, that's troubling. Still selling NFTs, and there are some changes coming. I'm wondering how that one's going to suss out, because right now everybody's buying a bunch of NFTs in Gala Music. And what are you going to do? Buy a subscription? I mean, wondering what they're thinking. Are they just going to call collectibles now from that other video?
I don't know. Nobody knows, right? There's information all over the place. Everything's constantly changing in every aspect of this ecosystem, as they call it, right? And I don't think they're thinking very far ahead is what it is. I think they're always looking right in front of their face. And that's a lot of the problem that they're causing.
All right. Do we have some comments on this? I haven't looked at the comments yet.
Hey,
Jesse
Mr.
says,
Harper. I know, right? I don't, the supervision is like not happening, obviously. And I don't know. She just kind of says whatever she wants. So if you listen to those shows that she did on the Gala Music side, I listened to a bunch of it, you know, both before and after the comments that we pulled out. And I mean, she's like all over the place. It doesn't seem like there's any semblance, any direction. It's just her rambling on about random things that are happening. And she doesn't seem to have a cohesive vision put together for what they're trying to build over there.
well, how much have you really paid attention? I mean, these are just sound clips. You shouldn't be making judgments based on a single sound clip.
And you're not listening to me. I said I watched before and after the clips that we pulled out, and there's like no semblance to how she rambles about things. And I don't see that as a good sign for those people who are engaged in the music side of Gala. And I hope that they can maybe take that as a coaching moment and get her on the right narrative and focused on something. If you watch some of that, I will tell you, she's I don't know if this is like her training from Eric or what, but she alludes that, oh my God, you haven't seen anything yet. It's not emerging artists anymore. It's not just Snoop. It's like everybody in their we're getting some huge talent that's coming, and they're coming. So, and
you're going to get the huge talent is like some like has been or third rate or
I don't know. I don't know. But again, everything's a hype train. And then when it actually arrives, it's nowhere near, shit your pants type material.
Well, I'd like to see more, and I don't know enough to make a lot of judgments, but what they're saying here makes it a little bit interesting. It's clear she doesn't fully understand the tech. Because of that, she can't explain it.
No, so listen, we talked about this not too long ago when I think it was a private conversation we had after a show. Oh no, I know what it was. It was after the show that Nate Forged in Crypto was on. We had a conversation post show, and I was talking about my mom and how my mom, she's like 76 years old, right? Big time boomer. And her mentality is stuck back in the 1950s when you can trust the government and all that kind of stuff. Well, she's living in the past of music, right? She's doing things like you did in the 80s and 90s when there wasn't this tech around, and she's just trying to promote a music label. When this is completely different tech, you can tell. That's a great point, because now that I'm thinking back, it's like she's reading off of cue cards about what this tech is about. I don't think she understands it. You may very well be right, Gala Node Guide.
What, this right here?
An interesting observation.
Well, I'm having a hard time understanding the direction of we don't want to call them NFTs anymore, because that to me seems like a slippery slope to something else entirely besides NFTs. I don't know. Maybe, and what I'd like to see is perhaps a more technical or seemingly informed reasoning behind that? I mean, there must be a marketing reason behind that, and she's just repeating it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's just all over the place, and I don't know how to read Arabic. So I apologize, but whoever this is, so Gala, we've talked about this before on the show over the years, many times, in that they say they have long-term goals, but they don't, right? They have only the goals that are right here, right in front of them, how to accomplish what they want to accomplish
Short-term
today
goals.
or tomorrow. Right,
Short-term
today or
goals.
tomorrow. And a lot of people who wanted to get into this ecosystem got into this ecosystem because they wanted to believe in a long-term vision for whatever sector they wanted, whether it was games or music or film or whatever. They bought in with tens, if not hundreds, if not millions of dollars. They bought into this for this long-term thing, and they keep shooting themselves in the foot by just trying to collect the money today. And it appears from these videos, if you watch all the videos, I'm not going to play 30-minute videos here and comment on them, but if you watch those videos, everything, again, is coming across as today and tomorrow, not the future, but they want you to spend the big money like you're going to be around for a while. And that's one of their big marketing mistakes, I think.
Okay, do we want to play this third one here?
Which one?
It says Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, so there was a sidebar discussion. I can't remember what channel it was in. There was a very, very good long discussion with a bunch of the customers that was addressing this Snoop Dogg's contract with Gala. And it was a revelation when Gala's music CEO talked about it on one of the streams that she did. And so I pulled the clip of that. And this is, we've seen, and to set this up, we've seen how Gala Games has had falling outs with almost every single gaming developer they've worked with. It's either a lawsuit, a disconnect, they're not speaking, lawsuits could be coming. It's been a complete train wreck, right?
Well, there's rumors of fallings out, by the way.
Right. So
rumors of a lot of different people.
So apparently, there's no written contract with Snoop.
Well, this is a rumor. You don't know this, right?
No. The Gala Gala Music CEO walks us through how this works. Go ahead and play the clip.
So you set this one up nice.
And he wanted to start the music division. So he hit up Snoop because he was a fan of Snoop's. They went to the same high school. And he said, "Can you help start the music division?" And Snoop said, "Well, I don't own my publishing." And he said, "What will it take?" He said, "I have to buy Death Row." And he told me he gave $50 million on a handshake with no contract to Snoop. So I thought, yeah, right. And I couldn't believe the story. So, of course, I hit up my folks and I say, is this true? And Nick, who is part of Snoop's team, said, yeah, it's true. So then I thought I need to understand the space more. And he wanted to...
technical difficulties. Okay, so... it sounds like there's more to it than that. She's obviously talking about something in there should probably be some context here, but I am kind of wondering what context would say, this handshake deal is a good idea.
Okay, but that's what they're saying. And you say to bring evidence that it's a handshake deal. There's your evidence. Sure.
The question is why would they want to do a handshake deal like this?
I have no idea. I don't know what these people do, why they think the way they think as it is. How am I supposed to break that down? But the point I'm trying to make is maybe this is why a lot of these things go sideways, because nobody knows what the hell they're doing. Why would you give somebody $50 million, Snoop's name or not, right? Why would you give somebody $50 million to buy Death Row Records on a handshake if you're a smart business person? Help me with that.
Well, I'm kind of agreeing with these people. I have a feeling that the handshake could be to start the whole thing. Like, I will give you $50 million if, or something like that. She didn't really go into a lot of details, but did she say no strings attached there? Or was it implied?
I didn't watch much further past that. She rambled on a little bit further, just with a little bit of nonsense here and there. I didn't watch like every second of the video.
Gala Games should be able to spend their money however they want. Why is that?
They can.
A problem?
They can, it's a problem when you give somebody $50 million with no contract, trusting everybody just to get it done. I'm sorry. If this is the way they do business, this is the company, this is their business practice for everyone who gave them money. This is how they do business.
Well, it would seem that they actually had more stuff going on before Wright, Thurston, and Eric started suing each other, right? Did they have contracts?
Yeah, they did. They had the agreement that they signed going into it.
Market cap of Gala is 1.5 billion. Gala has most of that. What's 50 million in comparison to that? Yeah, what's the big deal? They should be able to spend their money however they want. They
can't. Well, they don't have any left. I told you that back in 2022. They're living off of us right now. They're living off our backs right now.
Well, the NFT buyers, not our backs. I haven't bought anything.
The node owners. They take half the distribution. They take half the distribution and sell it every month to pay their bills.
Half the distribution that they created. I'm agreeing with you. Shut the hell up.
I know, but people don't understand that. They just let it blow all over their head and pat everybody on the head and say it's fine. They take that distribution, they sell it every month to pay the bills. Now, why they keep kicking back the halving? Well, because they won't have enough to pay their bills is my guess. That's my guess. If that halves, they're not going to have enough to sell to meet their obligations.
Now,
we hear this.
Suspected a subject change coming up. Subject change. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they just posted stuff all over the place that they got some kind of funding. So they took funding money. Remember all the years that they say we will never take funding money because we are solvent. We are ready to go. We don't need anybody's money. Yeah, they just had to take some money. Another very good sign.
You know what gets me is I think the last time we had Bitbender on, he was saying things like, "Hey, we don't have a problem with money. We I was asking him how much money they make and stuff like that, and they're like, it's all public, and they're like, hey, we have hundreds of people on the payroll and stuff like that, and the speculation at that time was, hey, something's going on. Now, it's on the Gala channels, that they have to can some teams, and the reason that they're giving for canning these teams are money. So it might be that the earlier speculation was correct, and I guess what did they know and when did they know it? I mean, is it that everybody suspected them of running out of money and they had it at the time, but they've since lost it, and now of course. And so now they're kind of backtracking. They're like, well, you have to do what you have to do. Let's go into this Mirandus thing a little bit, because they canned an entire team, right?
They did.
Wait. We have an opposing thought really quick, but go ahead with the money thing. We'll get into this too. Dr. Wookie should elaborate.
So there's little bits and pieces, little nuggets coming out here and there about the team sizes. And people have captured screenshots of what size the Mirandus team was prior to their canning and what the team size is now, according to, what's his name? Musashi?
Musashi?
Yeah, something like that. That's the guy I think they brought over from that Asia trip, remember? He's that big gamer over in Asia. I think he's the one running that Chilean team. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
What?
Anyway, his post...
sounds like you're mixing things. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know. The Chilean team Masushi. The Chilean team is much smaller, and apparently they've been working on it for months. He posted about that. So who knows, right? I can't. I have a hard time believing with what appears to be at this point a smaller team that they're doing a better job than the OGs who created all the code in the first place.
Okay, I want to say something. Dr. Whoopi, you should stop dropping bombs. Okay, this is a bomb. This is like farting in the middle of a room and walking away. Okay, maybe I should stop talking. Give me... Yeah, He just wants to drop a bomb and walk away and get everybody talking about it.
Yeah.
But we got Golden Hawk here.
Yeah, we all know where they're at financially. They wouldn't be selling their tokens if they had money. All right? It's simple as that. They had to raise cash. It's obvious. Anybody who knows anything about finance, just look at it, right? And you know. That's why I came out with my speculation in 2022. Just by watching what they were doing, I figured they were broke at that point.
Okay, so if the narrative is that the new teams in Chile is spelled Chile, by the way, Galanode guy. If the new teams can develop faster than the old teams, why do they, if they have all the money that they need, why do they need to develop faster? Why do they need to get the game out faster? Just because they promised? Because I don't recall, frankly, a promise of when the game would be out, only that it would be out when it's ready to be out, and they would be done when the game was ready. And now they removed the guy with the vision for the game, and they have put in a brand new team that costs far less money in another country, outsourcing. They've outsourced to another team to do it faster. That says to me that Gala Games is saying, okay, we're done with all of your features, Mirandus Master. We're done with all your features. Just squeeze it off and poop it out, and then we'll have a game. That's what I'm getting. It's like let's shit or get off the pot.
Well, here's the thing, right? If it's not about money, they didn't have to fire the entire Mirandus team. You've seen what they've done. There was play tests before. You've seen the art they were releasing. You've seen that the play test was coming up. It was ready to go. They didn't have to fire them. All they had to do was add the Chilean team. But they didn't do that. They completely replaced it. That should, again, Occam's razor here. That should tell you exactly what you need to know.
Jesse, no, they worked on Tetris. Okay, so don't give me that. All right.
Masushi said somewhere, I think it was on Twitter, that because someone asked him that, and he said they didn't have any experience with MMOs, but they were right on where they needed to be. So nobody should worry. Okay.
So whatever nothing accelerates developments like firing of 30 stars and replacing with 10 third world devs. Okay. First of all, let's slow down a bit because first of all, I'm a software developer, and I really don't like the idea. And I work with offshore developers. They're cheaper, and my observation is that they do one thing really well. They do something that they're offering really well. The question is, what does this team do really well? Now, do they know Michael McCarthy's vision? I have a feeling they might not. I just feel like what they probably do well is they close it up and ship it out. That's what I get the feeling. So I think if there's a bunch of features that Michael McCarthy wanted to put in there, not anymore. And they're just going to just put it out and see how it works. As far as the expertise, I mean, this is a big deal for them in Chile. In fact, they have some game companies there that are starting to take off. I wouldn't characterize them as bad or not very well, trained or whatever. They're just cheaper, and that's the difference. Also, I don't like the brain drain that's happening, because if you take 30 random people Well, sorry. You take all these people working on Mirandus, and then you take a bunch of other random people who know nothing about it or the vision. What are they going to give you? They're just going. I mean, is this application going to start being developed by committee now? Which is a terrible way to do it. I mean, is Eric just going in there saying, I want this feature, that feature, this feature? Or is the guy in charge actually deciding new features? You know, I'd love to hear about this team. They did say that they're going to be giving more updates more often. And I have a feeling that they're going to have more art and stuff that they're going to show. I'm curious, actually, is the artist team gone too? Because I really like the look of this game.
Nobody knows yet. To be determined. Thune will know. So to set the context even further, I want to share this with you because we had a wild week with this, right? Here's the beginning of the week. You ready?
Let me take this off.
They think Brink said it's going to be an epic week. He thinks it's epic that he's about to fire two entire teams for their flagship games.
Well, don't forget about The Walking Dead Empires.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay.
They're two flagships. Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. I thought Townstar was a flagship. That's still going on. In fact, that's looking pretty neat lately.
That's the OG, but that was what they determined as an epic week. Does that sound like? Would you say that if you were about to fire, like all the people that meant a great deal to the company and to the customers?
Well,
would you
how much did he know?
Saying, you cannot tell me that Brink didn't know on Monday that Wednesday both teams were going to be fired.
I thought I read somewhere that Brink said he didn't know. But what's his position again? President of blockchain, but not of games?
Go back to Faz Legal Docs or go to Gala Legal Docs on CFA. He has a sworn statement that's posted there that he is deeply involved with all aspects of the Gala ecosystem. So, no, that's not an excuse. I guarantee you he knew about that ahead of time.
Okay, Dr. Wookie speaks here. He said he'd shut up, but now he's not because I browbeat him. The appropriate thing to do had been to tell the team, hey, here are hard timelines we need. Focus on XYZ first, but instead just walked in and handed them their papers. How do you know that didn't happen beforehand? I mean, is this all rumor? I would have a feeling that if you're going to swap people out like that it wasn't a surprise, that they would have known it was coming. So I'd like to see some evidence that they just got fired on a whim. Or fired, or that Eric has been keeping secrets from Michael McCarthy.
Well, it obviously, by the postings that the team made on LinkedIn and so forth, it didn't sound like it was something they knew was coming. The way they posted.
Well, didn't they just have? Well, there was a playtest somewhat recently, and then I thought I saw. Weren't they at the hackathon, or weren't they? Didn't we see? I thought I saw pictures of the Miranda's team somewhat recently.
Yeah, and they did the Austin event not too long ago. What, 3 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah, they were all there.
A lot of the OG customers were down there. I think they even helped sponsor that to get together to design the economy, help design the economy, give feedback. The Gala Collective, they were the Gala Collective, I think, back then, but the Good Game Collective, GG, went there and was represented too, and they represent the community of gamers, right? So a couple of people noted in the chats that, hey, they felt like they wasted their time going and doing that because this has obviously been a plan for a while, because Musushi also posted that they've something along the lines of rest assured, we've been working on this code for months. So this isn't the first, it wasn't like this week that the code was dumped on the Chilean team, and they said, okay, now this is yours. They've already been working on it for quite a while. So there was obviously a backroom transition that was going on before the Mirandus team and TWE team even knew what was going on.
Where'd they say that they've been working on for a while? Well, I'm sorry, I missed that part.
Musashi, that guy, people were posting screenshots. I think if I remember correctly, it looked like it was from Twitter. If I'm remembering looking at these screenshots.
Oh, come on. LLL is saying, well, Bitbender recently sold his Alpha exemplar a couple of weeks ago. Dude sold one exemplar. Did he just clean out his whole like cabinet, or did he just sell something? How much does Alpha exemplar go for these days? Like $1,000 or something? Not a lot. Yeah.
Nothing Mirandus is going for anything anymore.
Titan tried to throw that at me the other day, like, oh my God, look, Bitbender's like, he's acting upon things that he heard about previously. He sold one Alpha exemplar. He didn't make a lot of money with it.
Watch the wallets. The legal documents got a lot of wallets dumped out there. I have notifications on those when events happen. Watch them. And you'll see these things. This is not an isolated event. I only sent you one example. Watch their wallets.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a show where people actually watch these wallets. But the problem is it's very boring. Unless you can make it really exciting, have animated graphics, or can, throw a lot of insults. That kind of stuff gets really boring to show people.
So I think it's time for some laughter.
Okay, that's a good idea. We need a break from all this heavy stuff.
While people do this now, you're going to definitely want to, if you're not watching this right now, if you're just listening, you're going to want to get to a computer. We're at the 37-minute mark. Watch this. A community member made this, right? And I was laughing so hard that tears were coming down my face. This is absolutely brilliant. You've got to check this out.
Formation zu durchbrechen. Im Süden hat der Gegner Zossen genommen und stößt auf Stahnsdorf vor.
Move your mouse.
Der Feind operiert jetzt am nördlichen Stadtrand zwischen Frohnau und Pankow, und im Osten ist der Feind bis zur Linie Lichtenberg-Marsdorf-Karlshorst gelangt.
Mit dem Angriff Steiners wird das alles in Ordnung kommen.
Mein Führer, Steiner konnte nicht genügend Kräfte für einen Angriff massieren. Der Angriff Steiner ist nicht erfolgt.
Es bleiben im Raum Keitel, Jodl, Krebs und Burgdorf.
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Wer sind Sie, dass Sie es wagen, sich meinen Befehl zu widersetzen? So weit ist das also gekommen. Das Militär hat mich belogen! Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS! Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht als Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich.
Die Generalität ist das Geschmeiß des deutschen Volkes! Sie ist ohne Ehre! Sie nennen sich Generale, weil Sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man Messer und Gabel hält! Jahrelang hat das Militär meine Aktionen nur behindert. Es hat mir jeden nur den Widerstand in den Weg gelegt. Ich hätte gut daran getan, von Jahren alle höheren Offiziere liquidieren zu lassen, wie Stalin. Ich war nie auf einer Akademie. Und doch habe ich allein auf mich gestellt. ganz Europa erobert. Verräter! Von allem Anfang an bin ich so verraten und betrogen worden. Es wurde ein ungeheurer Verrat geübt am deutschen Volke. Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen. Mit ihrem eigenen Blut werden sie bezahlen. Sie werden es saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut.
Bitte, Gala. Jetzt beruhig dich doch.
Meine Befehle sind in den Wind gesprochen. Es ist unmöglich, unter diesen Umständen zu führen. Es ist aus. Der Krieg ist verloren. Aber wenn Sie, meine Herren, glauben, dass ich deswegen Berlin verlasse, irren Sie sich gewaltig. Eher jage ich mir eine Kugel durch den Kopf. Tun Sie, was Sie wollen.
How long does this go on? Oh, good. It's done.
It's done.
Okay, that text needs to be a lot bigger, dude.
Well, I'm gonna post the link so people can watch it. You know,
Crypto
screen
view.
share.
You've really deprived him. And me, I could barely read that myself, and I'm like this close to the TV.
So while you give a little bit of context on perhaps the impact to the devs, I think I don't want to gloss over this part because, as you always say, you know, they're human beings, right? And this is a shock to them, and we're ripping on decisions that were made from the top, right? Obviously, it was the top. And maybe you can share a little bit about what it's like for them at this point, what they might be feeling, what they might be wanting to do in the future. If you were in that position, yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm gonna say something. I want to add a little bit of balance here because I hear, even for me, a lot of just dumping on Gala, probably for good reason. But so it's a company; they need to make money. The reason that they would go to a team in Chile is because it costs money to have a 30-member all-star rock star development team. It's done very frequently in the gaming world where they get a bunch of really smart people to start up a game, lay it out, and get all the features in there that they promised and talked about and stuff like that, and then get rid of them and have other people finish it. This happens. They want the rock stars for something else, or they can't afford them, or whatever. If you remember, they grabbed Mirandus Master from Townstar, which he developed as well. So he was pulled off of that project, and that project was continued to be developed by other people. And Townstar actually looks pretty good. It might not have been Michael McCarthy's vision at this point. I don't know. But from a very practical point of view, would you rather axe the team or run out of money? Because a team of rock stars cost a lot of money. And I'm just thinking just an average level developer is probably about 130 to 150K by now. What's that times 30? So that's what you have for a yearly out, you know, how much it costs a year. They're probably a lot more than that. Okay, so yeah, you got to make the tough calls, and it's either that or the whole company goes under, I would think. Now, of course, it sounds like they're saying it's not about the money. Well, of course it's about the money. I mean, why else would you want to get it done faster? I mean, there makes no sense. How are the developers feeling? I mean, depending on the situation, I mean, I've been on teams where the entire team's been laid off. And of course, you know, in those circumstances, we wondering what the management is doing or what they were thinking. You don't think it's your fault when the entire team gets laid off. You're like, what the hell? Oh, they're just wanting to pinch pennies. If I was fired individually and told that I was doing a bad job, I'd probably take it hard myself. But I mean, if my whole team was laid off, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Okay, you want to waste all that money? We had something good going. I bet a lot of them are thinking that. And I bet a lot of them are thinking really bummed out because they wanted to finish the job. That's what I would want to do. And yes, I've had to train my own successors as well. I don't know if they've trained their own successors, but I mean, it's demoralizing. So yeah, Eric has a plan. He wants to get that thing out the door. He wants to get it making money right away. Maybe there was a falling out between him and Michael McCarthy. Maybe Eric wanted to do that. Michael McCarthy didn't want to. And he's just like, okay, you know what? I'm the boss. Just, but yeah,
so
hopefully
take it out on the devs.
No, it's not a take it out on the devs thing. It's a business decision. This is a business. So I'm not trying to defend it as much as just give another side. If I was Eric, maybe I would have blinked at that much money. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's blinking at how much money it's costing, and he's thinking about how much stuff is not being delivered. Mirandus has been waited for forever. Everybody's been waiting for Mirandus. I have been. I have a large number of NFTs in Mirandus, which at the moment those NFT values are going down pretty hard, but that's a speculation. I also want to make it clear that when you buy NFTs, that's a speculation. If these NFTs were in some sort of public community-owned kind of project, I'd see it more of an investment. But it's speculation that a company is going to do well with the game. Are you investing in the company? No, in my opinion, no. If the company fails, these NFTs aren't going to be worth much. But these NFTs being out there with you owning them doesn't help the company out any, in my opinion. In fact, you not owning them probably helps out the company because they can invent more NFTs all they want with less guff from people. By the way, somebody else suggested they're going to do to Mirandus what they did to Townstar, which is after Townstar stopped letting you have earnable NFTs, they started adding a bunch of little tiny NFTs that cost a lot less and don't earn. And now they're focusing on contests. Well, Mirandus was always going to have a bazillion NFTs, but I think Michael McCarthy wanted them to all be earned in-game. And I think he had a very particular view about the economy, which probably was a disagreement as well. I have a feeling Eric might be much more specific. You can, pay to win or buy your way in to win or something.
Well, obviously, whatever tokenomics were tossed around in Austin or through the team before, I think it's pretty good odds that those aren't going to make it to the forefront now. I think if they're going to, and I've said this before and you guys poo-pooed me into oblivion. I've said it on the show since before the new year. I said they're going to rush out Mirandus and completely fuck it up. And that sounds like exactly what they're doing here. They just need to get that out to make money. They have to make money at this point. And it's going to be a tiny sliver of what it should have been. Now, you've also, just so anybody doesn't point the finger and call me a hypocrite, I've said it's taking a long time. I complained about that on multiple occasions. That's correct. But they've made all this progress. They supposedly, with this playtest, you were going to be able to start putting NFTs down. I think that's good progress. And there was speculation that there was going to be like a bigger area, I guess, but nobody could confirm, how big an area that would be.
Okay. So here's the thing is you were one of the people complaining about the fact that what do we have to show for this? What are they doing with Mirandus? How come it's not out yet? Blah, 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 blah. And I would think if anything, I would think if anything that you would be on board for this team change.
So I never said to have it out, but I said I want to see progress, and I'm not seeing any progress. And I said if they have a playable version, they should release a playable version.
So when do you think that progress would really could be established really easily by communication? Because one of and here I'm going to go the other direction just to throw out some balance. Mirandus is something I have heard. I have not heard very much about Mirandus. I do look at their Twitter channel, and they've been doing lots of images lately. But they've gone long periods of time without anything going on, without any details being put out. Now, of course, they have had AMAs, but they've always stopped short of getting into real details, and they're talking about what they'd like to do and so on. But of all the games, I mean, you hear about Townstar all the time, but not as much about Mirandus. By the way, Gala Node Guide here is saying he doesn't want Mirandus fast; he wants it right. Yeah, a lot of people want it fast because I remember back in 2020 or late 2020 when they announced Mirandus, people were all on board for that, and then 6 months later they were just bitching up a storm. What the fuck? Why isn't this done by now? Why? Because they're used to games coming out 6 months after you start talking about them. They announced Mirandus right when they decided to start doing it. And so then I had to, on CFA, for the next however many years, explain to people, these games take like up to 7 years to make, dude. These take forever. And people bitched and bitched and bitched and bitched and bitched. And only now they're like, oh, well, it needs to take as long as it wants. Well, maybe Eric's actually doing the things that people are actually asking him to do, which is get the game out faster. So, I mean, which is it? You want the game done right, or do you want to play it? A lot of people have been just bitching and moaning about being able to play it or play something or whatever.
So I've used this many times on this show, and here I am having to pull it out again because of the bait and switch. People bought anything Mirandus because of what was told to them at the time by Mike McCarthy, the team, the rest of Gala Games, including Brink, including Eric, about what this was supposed to be. That's what they sold products based on. And now it's not going to be that. That would be like you putting down a deposit for a Tesla, waiting for 3 years, and then having a Chevy delivered to you when you picked it up.
That kind of shit happens all the time. No,
it doesn't matter.
Okay, wait. Have those Tesla Cybertrucks been delivered yet? Have those Cybertrucks been delivered yet? That's what I want to know.
There's a couple.
Acquiring Minds,
I think. Yeah, there's a couple out there.
I haven't seen any.
So again, don't cut me off. Let's talk about that because this is important. Who cares if everybody does it, right? The point is that they sold products based on a criteria that they gave you that this is what this is going to be. And now that vision is now gone. It's going to be something different. Not going to be what they told you it's going to be. So that's a problem. That's a really big problem.
Let's see. Gala Node Guide says those complaining have probably never written a line of code in their life, which is those people who are complaining are people just putting money into it. They're degens or they're investors or whatever. People don't really understand what it takes to put out a game. All the games that are just coming out this year, they've been under development for like 5, 6, 7 years. You had to pop that one up. Okay.
I did, yes. Because again, I wish I'm trying to turn it off and you keep back on.
People are saying stuff. It's mostly Gala Node Guide. Is anybody else still here? They watched our video and they all left.
Steve Aoka, you got a Cybertruck. Yeah, there's a bunch of people that I think a handful of them have been released already, the Cybertruck. But really, this has been everything that Gala has supposedly. We can argue about this because you're going to get triggered. Everything they supposedly delivered, right? Everything they've delivered has been exactly opposite of what they told you it was going to be when you bought it. you were told you would be buying expensive NFTs for Townstar or Common Ground World or whatever you want to call it, because they were special NFTs. They were earning NFTs. And that went on for what, 6 months, 9 months?
Until they said, you know what, we're doing it wrong. We got to turn it off for a while. Wasn't that in 2021?
For a while. It was 2 years ago, right? And here we are with these expensive earning NFTs that people bought that aren't earning a damn thing. So that got pushed under the rug because the next debacle that came out, everybody's attention was now focused on the next shit show that they tried to deliver. And people forgot about that. But EOE, right? We had some very good reviews from Timbo, right? Timbo and the Moth, they enjoyed the game. They thought it was not too bad at all. He talked about it with us on the show, right? But at the same time, it was not delivered correctly. And I caught so much hell from you, Faz, and from so many other people when I stood up here and I would say they're always delivering the minimum that they can possibly get away with. And this is yet another session where it's just barely delivering the minimum of what they have to deliver to string people along for more.
Okay, so it's kind of funny that you were talking about this when I had M. Ice's comment up here. He says, the Silicon Valley way is to make small changes and quickly put them out to see if people accept or reject them, to fail early and adjust. Yes, that's what I say when I'm writing code, fail early and often. That way you can get feedback, you can see how things are. I would love to have seen Mirandus come out a lot earlier and us be able to see it going through its process of development. I would love that way people could be part of this process and they can comment. But Mirandus, well, here's the thing. People buying NFTs in Mirandus, they don't own Mirandus. They don't own the vision of Mirandus. They get to watch the vision of Mirandus. And so what happens I want to put out a balanced narrative here. What happens is when people see things being made slowly, they want to comment and then they get angry that their comments aren't being listened to. You're not listening to the fans. That's why people shut the fuck up while they're developing games for 7 years. They put out their vision and then they might tweak it a little bit. Otherwise, it becomes a community developed game. But one more thing is, Eric Schreiermeyer did promise that we would be able to see the development of these games and would have a lot of comments on, and so on. So I just want to put that out that the community has a point. That's
not
what they were promised.
Community anymore. They used to be a community. They're customers now. They're viewed as people with money that can give it to Gala. It's not a community anymore. They're customers. They're selling products to customers that they're not delivering on what they promised at all. What about rep? Where's rep nodes? How about rep nodes?
So did Gala Games really think? Did Gala Games really think that they could be a new Twitter or something? I was actually tempted to buy a rep node because I thought that something would happen there because Twitter turned into X, but people just moved over to X. In fact, whatever X becomes, if Elon Musk is going to sell it after a period of time, whatever X becomes, people just move over to that. I mean, unless the UI changes a lot for Twitter, they're just going to keep using it.
So how many times now have you used your Spider Tanks map?
Nowadays? Well, I have a node.
Where's the maps? You were going to get to design your own maps. Remember that in Spider Tanks?
Yeah,
what happened to that?
Yeah, vaguely. I vaguely remember that one.
Yeah, that, again, promises, purchases, and then no delivery. Over and over and over again. You said it yourself. When Townstar earnings turned off, it was temporary. We're just going to retweak this thing and we'll be back up and running. Just short time. Don't worry about it.
Spider Tanks
Where are
maps
they now?
Yeah, map functionality was definitely never implemented. Yeah, the rumblings that I've heard about spider tanks is apparently Gala Games has been sitting on, and I think you said this last week, has been sitting on a lot of upgrades and changes that they decide not to implement. To be fair, devil's advocate, Gala's running the show, and they're the ones deciding when and where to do things, and they have the manpower to either do or not do some of these things. So I don't know.
They tell the customers it's the other person's fault, not Gala's fault, right? Not their fault at all. It's always the developer, right? How about Vox? We had that whole discussion, right?
I would really like to see Vox.
It was Will.
So I just read something. Okay. I just read something the other day about Vox, where they were talking about. So like we put out these figures that were going to be used in games, and then we quickly realized, like, whoa, these figures, these characters weren't designed right. They couldn't like be very robust in a real game, and so they had to like retweak and stuff like that. And I don't know, maybe they got deer in the headlights about that and figured, oh my god, what are we going to have to do? We're going to have to airdrop everybody a brand new Vox or something to fix the model, or I don't know. It doesn't really matter if a Vox has a. Well, no, they had something else like, and then you have a lot of non-humans in there, and the non-humans will cause problems in playing the game because you can't apply one solution to humans and non-humans at the same time, like those dragons and the chickens and stuff like that. So I think they have options.
Did you ever get your reward when they fucked up the drop and they sent you like triple the amount of Vox you were?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I got like, a lot of us got like, what? I think I got like 10 or 11 extra Vox when they did the drop, or when you bought one. And then Eric just downright threatened people, if you don't send them back, I'm going to get very angry and come after you and stuff. And I don't know. I was honest and nice and returned them. Some people didn't. And I don't recall getting any sort of reward for that. That would be nice, because he
offered that reward. He said, if you do the right thing, you'll be rewarded.
Well, I guess now the people who didn't do the right thing got more reward than I did, especially if they sold them right away. But I don't know.
I don't understand. I don't understand how people can continue to still give them money for products. Can you understand why they do that after what they've seen for the past 3 years?
Okay, think about your favorite whatever company that makes food, cars, whatever. Some years they get it right, some years they don't. Some you get very disappointed, you leave for a while, but then you come back when they change their ways. We do this with products all the time. Okay,
what years did they get it right?
The first year, second year, when they started telling us about all this neat stuff that was going to happen.
There isn't one, man.
I like some of their games. I forgot the name of that game. Superior. I love Superior. That's a great game. But
where's that at now?
Well, that hasn't been upgraded. and Spider Tanks hasn't been upgraded. And now EOE, when you go onto the EOE Discord and you start asking them, hey, what's going on? Why aren't you guys talking to us anymore? They're not saying shit. So EOE people have gone dark. Yeah, a lot of these games seem to be all coming to the same conclusions right away.
And it's not Gala's fault, right? It's all these other people. It's all these other developers. It's all these other things. It's never Gala, right?
Okay. Yes, Nick, the customers are insane. That's because humans buy all sorts of shit that they don't need, and they think they're doing a good job when they buy it. All you need to do is give them a song and a dance. Gala has a good song and a dance. They actually do produce some things. They have games out there. So, there's reason to believe that they will fulfill their promises, but I don't know. I'm still waiting. Like I said, I would have been happy to wait a few more years for Mirandus. I admit that I would have liked to have seen a lot more play tests, but in the beginning of every project, it takes a long time to get spun up and you got to build your tools, and you got to build your style and all your stuff, all that stuff. It's it's toward the end that you start getting into level making and stuff. That's the easy part, is all the level making. And then you can keep that going.
Yeah, you don't want to answer that one, do you, Faz?
Why not? I'll have Jesse on. He can just make fun of me all the time. How's that?
Yeah, they're Mr. Hughes or Mrs. Hughes. Absolutely, they are not trying to make a successful game. They are doing the bare minimum to try not to get sued. That's my opinion.
Well, I've gotten the sense from the very beginning that Gala at first had some really neat ideas and aspirations. They put a lot of stuff out, but they also were leaning really heavily into this multi-level marketing plan. And to the degree that they started leaving the MMM plan, they started talking about having to deal with regulations and authorities. By the way, I looked in CryptoFaz Discord. There's Benefactor was on there in the past, and he's actually back at 2020, late 2020. He was saying things, people were complaining, and he was saying, hey, securities laws exist and so on. I'm very curious if he's still aware of these securities laws now that they want to call music NFTs stock and stuff like that. Got some dead air there, Titan. You talking?
No, I was letting you read. I put up CryptoViews comment.
I think they would do this. I think they would do the same they did to Townstar's nodes to Founders nodes. I hope not. Well, I think that's the goal, but I think the Townstar nodes being sold is just a trial balloon. They want to see how it's received, how what the prices are, if the trading tanks the game or not. I mean, it's a risk. I don't know how Townstar is going right now because I'm kind of dialed out of it. We need to have Family Man on here to start talking about Townstar. I caught the Gala Games, the GG Collective, the GG Collective's show the other day where Family Man was going through Townstar, and it looks quite a bit improved. It's got a lot more animation, a lot more stuff going on. Yeah, it's essentially the same game, but there's a lot of complication going on with the game, which could keep people interested. Is it a 5-star game, or sorry, what do they call it? Is it a AAA game? No, but it's a pretty neat game. It's just being able to earn with it, I think, would make it a much more interesting game, and not just from a degen point of view. Just I think earning makes games cooler because you enjoy actually doing the grind. Rather than just doing a grind. Yeah, you can have a shitty game that makes you a lot of money, or you can have a fun game that makes you a lot of money. And I liked Townstar. I thought it was fun.
I put out this comment probably 2 years ago. And I gave speculation and you called me out. Oh, you're crazy, right? And I said, look, I see the vision, right? They want to buy time for Mirandus. They want to buy 3, 4, 5 years for Mirandus. So let's go get the cheapest developers we can to build some games to hold people over in the meantime. And while we build Mirandus, we'll make a ton of money while we're letting Mirandus build out, and we'll have a successful platform. And that was the way that I thought it was going to be, right? And I didn't expect any of these other games to be like, 5-star, oh my God, shit your pants kind of games. But I thought they'd be decent. And what happened is all these other games had all these issues that we just kind of drolled over and everybody already knows about if you've been around for a while. And that failed. They took all the money that they did make from the pre-sales of those NFTs, and they decided to open film and decided to open music and decided to give Snoop Dogg $50 million and buy jet planes and whatever else they wanted to do with it. And the money disappeared. And then they're sitting on, well, shit, we've got 3 more years before Mirandus is going to be ready. And we got nothing but lawsuits going on.
When you have $1.5 billion, that's a lot of money.
They did, right? They did. Now they're selling their distributions to keep the company afloat, and they have to take outside money to keep the lights on. And so,
but wait, isn't that the point though? They get the money, they earn the money, they get there because they're running nodes too. By the way, from what we found out from the legal documents, apparently all these nodes that they were running were what? They're all run on one machine. Is that right?
I called that out too. They need to release that technology for everybody. They shouldn't be able to do it themselves, and we can't do it. They tell us we have to have one node per IP address now, where they run 7,000 nodes and
the whole point of these nodes. So, and the whole point of these nodes are so that you can have a lot of CPU power around the world, and they're not providing the CPU power that they're that they're being given Gala for. I think they're
the nodes aren't doing what they were promised to do. What you're trying to say?
If you can run 7,000 nodes on one machine, do you think that the nodes are doing 7,000 times the work? So
they don't need that many. Ethereum runs on 3,000.
Yeah.
The entire Ethereum chain runs on 3,000 validators.
And that's a very active chain with hundreds and hundreds of projects on it, not just one. So right. I thought Eric even said a while back that he knew that they were way over. In fact, I'm pretty sure that they're way over capacity. Somebody look that up on the Discord. If you just look up way over capacity or over capacity, I bet they've admitted that. I know that they've admitted that in the past. So what are they going to do when they're way over capacity with the nodes? They make more game-centric nodes. So now they're way, 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 way over capacity, expecting each one of these nodes, each one of these sets of project nodes to be more successful than Ethereum. I mean, that takes some major balls, or that's some major hubris, I would guess, thinking that you're going to be that successful. I mean, yeah, I guess if they are that successful, then they're set up for it. But I have a feeling from what I've seen with Gala Games that if they got that successful, they wouldn't be able to absorb all that success. I have a feeling something might implode with how messy things are.
Abdo, I totally agree with you. And this is when Gala Chain first came out, they called it Jiri back then. I said the exact same thing. What is the difference between Gala Chain and there's too much competition. There's a million other places that developers can go where it isn't a hassle, where things work right. They just put out a note today that they're voting on which the best explorer is. They held that contest. They don't even have an explorer out for this chain at this point. Weight and salt.
They actually have this like Hado Shadow. It's this company called Hado Shadow that does an explorer. Because I looked up stuff the other day. Remember, I sent you something the other day, and I wanted to track it on the explorer. Yeah, they do have something out there. It's like some third-party thing.
I don't know.
Hado Shadow.
Yeah, I think some people who were trying to find anything on it can't really find anything on it. So
okay, I'm gonna post a damn link for you. Parts. Damn it, Gala Explorer.
Listen, stop talking because I'm trying to get a communication across to Abdo here. I totally agree with you. There's really no differentiation between a lot of these chains, right? And with Gala's history
posted,
I don't think any company or even individuals are going to find Gala Chain to be any more attractive than any of these other chains, other options.
I've been corrected. Hado Shadow is apparently not a company or something. It's a person. So sounds like there's a person here that made an explorer. The link that I put there is to a Medium article explaining this explorer. And if you go there, it looks rather interesting.
Now, we know we had our Epic expert on just a week ago. The first developer on Gala Chain, NFT Harbor, right? And
they're not saying anything.
Well, he seems to like what Gala Chain has to offer, and that guy is amazing. So if he says it's a pretty cool place to be, I can understand that.
Well, it's no matter what. It's a chain that's there being used, and I'm hoping that this chain is actually run on the nodes. Is it? If it is, great. And Rostakip is building on something which, in order to get things moving, you need to build on it. And what's nice is he's building on something to where if it does take off, he's going to be very well positioned. So, I think NFT Harbor is a great idea. If for some reason, something happens to the Gala company, I'm curious, is that whole blockchain going to go down? Is this a private blockchain? I don't know enough information about this.
It's private and permissioned. According to the Gala Medium article, we posted it on this show probably 2 or 3 times. It's a private permissioned blockchain. And as far as I know right now, it is not run on the nodes.
So
it's a fancy database.
Okay. So just work with me for a second here. A private permissioned blockchain says to me that it's owned then by a company. It's an asset of a company. And that company got sued or whatever. They would be able to sell that asset to someone else, and then it would still be around. Someone else would take it on and start, and put it out there and use it or whatever. So is that their angle? If they get sued and they have a public blockchain, the public blockchain probably could be taken down if if they were sued or whatever, because I don't think it would be, they wouldn't go completely public. But if it's private, you could sell it to somebody else and you can still get money for it. It's an asset. So I have a feeling that there's a thought there that they can use it to save themselves if there's a problem. Of course, it sucks to be the people left developing on that blockchain if it gets sold and managed by some other company who might not have your interests in their.
Well, and again, we've argued ad nauseum about this. There is zero, not one iota of anything that's decentralized on
Jesse approved right platform. Here. No, this is not legal analysis. This is fucking speculation, dude. I'm talking about something that I find interesting and just proposing an idea. I'm not saying take it to the bank. I don't have any illegal degree. So I want to make sure that everything is vetted by Jesse if I ever say anything legal, appropriate legal. And if you think I'm a lawyer, you should know better by now. So no, Jesse.
We're all going to go to Washington State, though, and get our bar exam is not required there anymore. Just show up and get a license. So the admin could be sold, right? M-Ice, he's an expert. He's our AI specialist also, which is why I was asking who they raise cash from and what they want in return. I don't recall seeing anything about them raising cash to start Gala Chain. I would think, unless somebody has other information that they could share, I think they used the money spent from Gala Games like they spent on everything else. They used that to develop Gala Chain, is my guess.
I'm reading comments here. So did you
hear about anybody else raising money for Gala Chain? Because I don't remember anything.
No, okay. So from my holy memory, very holy memory, I seem to remember back in 2021 when things started really taking off that Eric Schreiermeyer was like, okay, Ethereum isn't going to work. We want to start developing our own chain. And then they started asking around, who knows people? Who knows people who can make things? And they started looking at other chains. Flare was one of them. XRP for a short time. I even recommended Holochain because I'm like, hey, this is designed for that kind of stuff. For whatever reason, they decided to go with their own, and they decided to build it themselves. That reason probably was because they got billions of dollars, at least $1.5 billion. And they're like, we can afford to build our own chain. And then now they're trying to put themselves across as a blockchain company rather than a gaming company, because apparently the chain is their product now and the games are all extra. But this chain idea has been around for a long time. It's from early in 2021, once they started making a lot of money. And it does solve a lot of problems. They said at the time that they didn't have something that could make these games run the way that they were planning to run.
Centralized. The other blockchain options they had were decentralized.
Well, yeah.
They wanted a centralized solution. That's the problem.
Well, at the time they talked about that, they didn't say whether it was going to be centralized or decentralized. We just all became aware after a while that it was centralized or was going to be centralized, and now it's very centralized, and that's going to really suck if Gala Games goes down in any way.
Lock 77. Off chain, you fire Mirandus devs to prevent everyone from offloading at the same time.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny, and it's terrible. I don't like doing shows like this. I really don't. But unfortunately,
but you posted the funny video, sir. Funny Hitler video.
Unfortunately, Gala Games has forced us to do shows like this because they can't get their act together. I would love to, 3 years of doing Gala stuff, I would have loved to have come on this show and had epic, awesome, shit your pants kind of news about how well they're doing, sitting on a mountain of $22 billion in cash, reigning supreme over the gaming world. But no, here we are. Where you
I like how you're acting like this was all planned. No, what happened was a few days ago, somebody posted something on CFA with Gala Music, with the CEO of Gala Music saying some things about we're just talking about NFTs like they're going to go away or something, or we don't want to call them NFTs, or for now, right now we're offering NFTs, and I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what's going on? So I mean, this is just us looking into things, just seeing what's going on. This show wasn't planned like 6 weeks in advance. Like we're just going to come down on Gala. It's just like, this is what's happening.
Right. It's reality, people. And we like to deal in reality, not fantasy. Faz. We like to deal in reality.
Hey, I'm an optimist, damn it. And there's nothing wrong.
Too. When there's optimistic things that are happening, not just
there's lots of optimistic. I'm still even a little optimistic about Mirandus, and here's the reason. Like I said, God. I'm going to go back and repeat myself. They've hired a team in Chile, in my opinion, to finish the game and get something out. Whatever features are currently out, they're going to wrap up. That means the game has enough structure to where you can predict, okay, this is where we could squeeze it off for now. And I have a feeling that they're going to spend a lot of time upgrading it. Well, I would hope. I don't know. I'm going with what they did with Townstar. That's the evidence that I'm using. They moved Michael McCarthy off of Townstar, put him on a new game, and then they had people upgrade Townstar. And they've gone through a couple heads of Townstar as well, if you recall.
And is Townstar delivering on any of the promises they made when you bought your earning NFTs?
For a while, they did. Made off like a bandit in the beginning.
There's the Faz lawyer. There's the Faz lawyer. It's a yes or no question, Faz.
I did. I told you the answer.
No, you never said the word.
I made off like a bandit. Yeah, I did. It delivered on me for the short time that they did it, and then they stopped. So the answer would be yes and no, sir.
So we've had a lot of people on here watching tonight. And I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight to talk about this. An hour and 23 minutes. We rambled on about this stuff, and we could probably go for another hour easy.
People apparently like to hear us ramble, including Jesse, who's still here probably telling me that I should stop lawyering.
So listen, I'm going to give my closing comments, and then Faz, absolutely, you get the last words. But I want people, especially if you're newer to Gala, you haven't been here since the glory days, as we call them, at the beginning when there was a lot of real hope and optimism about this. Don't buy the hype. Buy a product that you really think is going to show up, and don't buy it ahead of time. Buy it after, when you know exactly what it's going to do. The promises, as you can see by the last few years, they don't materialize. They haven't so far, right? Number two, don't buy the word decentralization. There's not a doggone thing decentralized about Gala at this point. When there is, I will help celebrate that, but I don't think I'll be celebrating anytime soon. Take care of your crypto. let's get in there and pump the market. $882 million. No, almost $1 trillion. So that would be billion left the market today. Meme coins got crushed. Take care of yourself. Take care of your crypto.
Well, my sign off here is just going to be a zip bug that I'm working on. I found a way to train an AI on my bugs. This is awesome. It's something I wanted from the beginning. So this is also my mood for the day. He's not a happy camper. All right.
That's kind of a cool eye look. I like that eye look.
So yeah, this is Starry AI, and it's really cool. Like I said, you can train it on images now. So if you make cartoon characters, you can upload like 60 different versions of that cartoon character. And once it gets an idea of your style, you can start making things like that. Yeah, I'm trying to actually figure out how to get zip bugs on Gala Chain, just to say that I can. I got an account and stuff, but I have no idea how it works.
It doesn't yet.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. You were answered in the thread that we're talking in. It's not there. Nobody can get into it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, the Avalanche series that you put out, tell them how to get there.
The Avalanche. Oh yeah. Let me go to that. Hold on.
Do I have to do everything over here? I already do everything for the show. Now I have to carry you on zip bugs too.
Yeah. Hold on. Zip bugs, AVAX. So I really like Avalanche. Avalanche is great. OpenSea now supports Avalanche. I'm pasting this right in here. I made some more zip bugs that will work on Avalanche. So, or not will work on, but they are on Avalanche. So, Zoro Gala, look up Zipbugs 2024 AVAX, and you'll see some of the newer stuff.
And if you don't know how to get on Avalanche, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, we did a walkthrough on Avalanche.
On Phantom, you use Phantom Wallet. You just send Avalanche to your wallet, right?
We also we can do it that way, but you can also use the core bridge, and all the links are in the show notes from that show.
Okay. Yeah.
We're getting better at this. If I do it right when we're doing it, I put the links in. If I tell you I'm going to do it after the show, I always get hung up and forget. But I got all the links in for that one and for this one.
Trying to figure out. Okay, here we go. I think I got it. And there we go. So we got some zip bugs right here.
I can't copy pasta this.
Can't. I'm showing it on the screen here, and I've already put it in the chat there.
I was going to put it in the show notes so that people could click it from there.
These guys are really cool.
You can't click in the comments.
What? Well, okay. Well, then do what you need to do.
Put it, copy pasta into private chat so I can grab the link and put it in the YouTube.
And also, one last thing. I made a sale of a zip bug painting. Stay right there. Don't go anywhere.
Oh my God. Faz likes to squirrel, if you can't tell by now. Well, don't break it, for fuck's sake.
There you go. Wait.
Can't see it. It's behind the chair. The guy is helpless, folks. He's absolutely helpless.
It's a big sucker. Okay. What were you saying?
Nothing. I was talking about how awesome you are.
And I include the actual original drawing too, with any painting that I sell. So anyway, that's all. That's my sign off. So have a nice time, guys. Have a nice week. We will see you next week. And I appreciate you coming by.
Hopefully with better news.
Okay, where is the intro? Is it this? Outro, I mean.